time they will join us. Members of the clergy, CEOs who are here, members of the task force on sand harvesting and management, other stakeholders who have been invited, ladies and gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning.
We are still morning. Muko sawa. Before I was re-elected as governor of the great county of Kitui on 9th August 2022, there was a narrative which was all over this county that there is a lot of sand harvesting which was being done in an haphazard manner. No coordination, no rules, no nothing, and our rivers were being depleted at a rate where if nothing was done, it would be only bare rocks at the bed of those rivers, and there will be no sand, and getting water in our rivers will be very difficult. Apart from that, the environment around where the rivers are and the general environment of the county will equally be affected. And as I was campaigning and requesting our people to re-elect me, there is one promise I gave, that I will do something to straighten the sand subsector. Some of you know my predecessor had issued a sand ban. Maybe the task force will tell us more details about that sand ban as they present their report. But the sand ban was saying sand from Kitui should not be transported from our borders, because you can't issue a ban as a governor beyond the area you have jurisdiction. It will be unconstitutional, it will be illegal, it will be null and void, ab initio. In other words, from the beginning of that ban, it will not be worthy the paper it will be on. And the then county administration issued some license to a group which was calling itself Kitui Sand Harvesting and Environment Co-op Society. I hope I've gotten the name right. And when I was elected and I came into office, there was a lot of pressure. Some people telling me, lift the ban which your predecessor had placed. And what surprised me, even some national government agencies were very proactively asking me to lift the ban. And strangely, making a very flawed argument, saying when you lift the ban, then things would be better. And then I looked at it and I said, these fellows, maybe they are setting me up. And I said, I will not lift the ban, because imagine I just came into office, my predecessor had a ban on sand, and among the first things I will do is to lift the ban. The people who elected me would have said, this is not the Malombe we knew, the 2013-2017 Malombe who worked for us. So I said I'll not lift the ban. Of course, those interests, they started rumor mongering, saying all sorts of things. And those of you who are politicians in here, or those who are familiar with the politics, they know as politicians you must have one thing, a very thick skin, which can withstand insults, abuses, propaganda, innuendos, all sorts of things. As a politician, you must have all those. I can tell you the things which are brought to our attention, there are too many per day. If I tell you what has come across me before I came to this room, you will not believe it. But you must synthesize all those, you must process all those, and you must have a clear perspective and a very clear head. Otherwise, you will lose direction. And if you are the governor elected to lead and serve, and then you lose focus, then the county, it has a rota. So after you, some of you have been here, I appointed a number of committees. We were calling them committees, not task forces, but there is no difference. There is a committee which looked at matters relating to pending bills and a mapping. We have started paying pending bills, and we had said first in, first out. Those bills which were incurred earlier ndio zitalipwa kwanza, then zile zilikuja hapo katikati zilipwe, na zile zilikuja hapo mwisho zilipwe. Na hao malipo yameshaanza, and that's the reason why ukienda Mwingi, ukienda Mtoma, ukienda hapa Kitui, you find money has started circulating. The economies of our towns, our market centers, our rural areas are vibrant because money which has been lost and others shipped out of the county to other places and not serving our people, now it is circulating within our area. So we had that particular task force. Then we had one on human resource audit, which undertook its work, and they presented their report here. And amongst their recommendation is there were 935 persons who never turned out when the head count was being undertaken in December 2022. And the report which was given by the committee which was headed by Dr. Florence Moinde, a director of the national government, was given in February. And all that while, when in the county took place, up to February, those 935 people, they never even showed up. And we have a workforce of 8,000 plus in Kitui County. ECD teachers alone, there are 2,345 whom we have put on permanent and pensionable. We are one among 8 counties in the Republic of Kenya which has put ECD teachers on permanent and pensionable. 8 out of 37. And Kitui has the highest number of ECD teachers. And we are happy because that's one of the best, one of the most useful investments we will ever make as a county. Because our children, they are the human resource for this county going forward. They are the ones who will take care of us as we age, and we want to give them a very good base. And you can't give them a good educational base without taking care of education at that particular level. When we put them on permanent and pensionable, the Minister of Finance could not believe, because the wage bill more than doubled. It's over 500. I won't give the exact amount, but it is over 500 million Kenyan shillings. It increased by another 200, over 200 million Kenyan shillings after converting them. But going back to these 935 persons who could not be accounted for, and if you are not accounted for during head counts, you are declared a caste. And most of you are here when I was advised by that committee which I had appointed, following accepted procedures where I also gazetted them. And once they give me a report and they say, these are our findings and these are recommendations we have made. 935 people could not be accounted, they did not turn up. You could be paying people, or you could be paying people who do not exist. You know, that's what it means. Therefore, stop their salaries for the week. For the week means even, it's a stronger word than immediate. For the week. If you continue paying salary for another 1 week or something, the auditors, because whatever you do here is audited, the money we are using is not our personal money. It is public money. The auditors will come and say, you appointed a task force, whom you gazetted. They look at the members were, about 4 of them were from national government, director level. The lady in charge of IPPD, national government, the entire national government, she was co-opted in that team. And therefore they had no reason kuonea mtu yoyote. So when they gave me that report and say, stop the salaries of this 935 for the week, there was no other option. We had to do that. And then after the salaries were stopped, a lot of people popped in and said, oh, I was counted. I was the one even who was arranging the papers for the committee and so forth and so on. I said, fine, but no one is going to be reverted to the payroll without following an accepted procedure. Public service is a service of procedures. Whatever you do, you must follow certain procedures. We followed a procedure to remove them from the payroll. We appointed a task force. They said you'll be counted. As you are being counted, bring your original certificates, testimonials. Also, as you come to be counted, the first item, which you show the people counting, is your ID. Because how do they know that name which is listed there and they get salary is for somebody who exists? And you'll be surprised. I am told, because later on I appointed a team headed by one of my ministers. He's here, Mr. Mandando. He's the minister responsible for energy and other issues. Actually, even this matter we are looking at is responsible. And also deputized by another minister. My Minister for Culture, Phoebe Mutemi, she is not here. She's on the other side for the CIDP. And the other officials. And I also appointed the chairperson of the committee which prepared the initial report which identified the 935 and the vice chairman. I said they will also be in that team, because I did not want the Mwendando team to come up and say what the other team did was wrong, and those ones are not represented, and there's those ones, they say those ones you appointed, now the Mwendando team which you appointed to really give an opportunity to these 935 who are said they were not accounted to account for themselves, for them to say, oh, they did not do something right. So they all came together, and I'm glad to report they have done their very best with the frustration where people are asked to come and they don't turn up, yet they were all over in the bars, in the cafes, in the corridors, saying, oh, we were not given an opportunity to be counted. Now there is another team headed by a minister, and some do not show up. But about 152 have been cleared, and those who have been cleared, we have now properly, officially, procedurally allowed them to be reverted. Because if you revert them without that sort of clearance, the auditors will tell you, what criteria did you use to revert these people back to the payroll? Were you compromised, or was somebody compromised? And we said everybody will go through the same process. Of course, we are here for the task force on sand harvesting and management. But if we gave Mwendando a few minutes to tell you some of the things, you'll be surprised. A lot of people don't have certificates. People, they have come, about 40 people, and they say they have no ID. They are told, if you lost your ID, why did you go to the police station and report and be given the performer, they give a report. Yeah, and then you go and get another ID. From where you sit and where you stand, would you say such a person should have been counted by the original team? You don't have ID. And you do not know whether they don't have IDs, or they are hiding, or they are gods. Wale walikuwa pesa za county zinapitia, ila ikienda mfuko kwao ama ikienda kwa wengine. Another huge lot do not have certificates, which they had said they have. And the team which was counted, you had, they were from national government. The likes, so if you hear somebody was a director national government, who are director national government, ukianza pale chini, mpaka director, unamaliza 30 years. Now by then you have attended the courses not less than 20. And I don't think there is a director national government who doesn't have a master's. Siku hizi hakuta. Na ni mtu ambaye amepitia mengi. Hao ndio nilichukua waingie kwa ile kamati. Hata huyu nilichukua Mwendando, he was a director. He was a director in national government. And he knows how public service works. Even in things like those, because their accounts are also conducted at the national government level. So many don't have certificates. But you have said, do the work meticulously so that the many we have been given the responsibility to manage on behalf of the people of Kitui, they are utilized properly, they pay people who should be paid, and we do the development we are supposed to execute. Hiyo ilikuwa kamati ya pili. Ile ingine the motor vehicles, plant, and equipment, which was headed by Mr. Stephen Wambua. They also presented their report here. And I've appointed another team, headed by one of my ministers, deputized by another minister and other members, and even I've said in the same committee I want the chair of the former committee who prepared the initial report, they'll be there, and the vice chair, so that wakinipatia report, because they are supposed to implement, the latter team is supposed to make sure the recommendations which were given by the committees are implemented. Because sikutaka tufanye vile inafanyika sana, even at national government level. And I worked in national government, I know what happens. Ripoti kama hizo zinatengenezwa na zinawekwa kwa kabati, zinaanza kushikwa na dust, and nobody implements them. And therefore the ideas and the recommendations, they all go to waste and nothing changes. Inakuwa business as usual. We have said in Kitui it's not going to be business as usual, because we were elected not to continue with business as usual. If it was business as usual, mishahara ingekuwa inagoja. Hiyo ndio mlikuwa mnataka. Na vitu vingine ambavyo huku businesses ulikuwa unaenda Kitui town Mwingi, Mutomo, Kanyangi and wherever, you think they are ghost towns. Because there's nobody who is asking to buy anything. There is no money circulating here. So that team also is doing their work. They have given their interim report. They do give during cabinet meetings. And now the other team which has appointed is this task force, because I identified major issues which required to be dissected and looked at by not only people within, but also other stakeholders from outside. And usually I was going for chairs who are not from within. And for that reason, I chose Madam Esther Musili, whom we will be calling here to introduce her team and to present the report. And she's the one, and because of that I will not talk to that. She's the one who will take us through the terms of reference, to tell us you are appointed to do what, and then give us a report of whether you did that, and what was supposed to be your outputs. Are those outputs being delivered? So I appointed that task force, comprising, I think, 14 members and comprising a chairperson, vice chairperson, and I think 14 members and 3 members of the secretariat. And then we also, just like we did with the other teams, get them the power to co-opt, of course in consultation with the appointing authority. I wish to commend this team even before they come, because I gave them exactly 2 months, translating to 60 days. The other teams, all of the other teams, they requested for extra time. These ones, they have completed the job in time. And therefore on cost. And I can assure you, because they gave their interim report a week ago, and then they said that now they will do the final refinement of the report. The report with my team, which were presented to us, We appreciated them. I hope you will also equally appreciate them. So, objective. We want to have a policy and legislation which will govern matters, sand harvesting and management in this country. There are things you can't stop. They have never been stopped by anybody in the world, in any country. You can't stop charcoal burning, you can't stop sand harvesting. What you do is you introduce modalities for monitoring, for regulation, for management, so that even in the case of sand, the environment is not destroyed. In other words, sand is not harvested to the extent it destroys the environment. And also, you introduce a system where that particular resource, which is located within our county, is beneficial to our people. It creates jobs for our youngsters. And I believe what is going to be presented to us, because I've said we got an interim report, has really responded to what we requested that to happen. Of course, when it's a sector, within a sector there is chaos, it is chaotic. There are people who benefit from those chaos. And when you want to introduce order, they don't want order. And they will start all sorts of things. My predecessor, you know very well. People are saying, oh, the lorries which are carrying sand, they belong to her. Even myself, they wanted to put my name there, and even my children and so forth. And but as I said, when you're a politician, you must have a thick skin. You can even be told, children you sired yourself, they were sired by somebody else. When you're a politician. And they know that is not true, but they want to annoy you. And when you get annoyed, you make wrong decisions. So we listen to all those, but the order we are going to have, once we finish with this, we want to hand over this to the county assembly, because we will have finished our duty as a county executive. It is up to them now to really adopt the policy and to enact the bill, so that we have the Kitui County Sand Harvesting and Management Act, which now can be enforced. Now you can't enforce anything. Even if you find the diesel lorries are miguu 30 zinachota mchanga in the wrong way, all you can do is shout, they'll be reported to the police and so forth. You have no instruments for enforcement. Hata wakienda kotini, you can't do anything. For example, I'm sure most of you are familiar with this. There was a time, people who say they are ESCC, they arrested some people, and some of the people from the media, they gave that a lot of prominence. I don't know whether it was deserved or wrong prominence, because they went and arrested a county revenue officer, a young girl, and they said, oh, she was the one with which we had money, which was displayed on KTN News and even Citizen. Really, ESCC was told not to disturb those people. And that's where we are. And it happened, looking back, there are some people from around the Tifa River who also went to court, and then they were given an order not to harass those people, and because there was no clear legislation, And those people are still collecting sand using that particular order. So people, including those from those agencies, please don't chafua jina la kaunti letu ama ya viongozi wetu na watu wetu. Some of you probably are here. Please don't do that. And or using propaganda. That young girl was traumatized. Unnecessarily. What we are going to do, hopefully, is we will have a policy and legislation which can be enforced on matters sand. And the main focus is environmental conservation. The main focus is kutoa mchanga. The main focus is we do it in a manner which is sustainable. We said no country in the world has ever stopped sand harvesting, charcoal burning, because it's not possible. But you institute measures to ensure, as that is being done, ukikata mti unapanda ingine. And we need bylaws where ukiwa umekata mti, hata ikiwa ni kwa shamba lako, unapanda ingine. That is what happens in other countries. I went to Canada sometime in 2006 when I was director of housing, and we were taken for a tour, and that's what their bylaws. Where unapanda mti, unautunza, grow, lakini ukitaka kukata mti lazima uapply for the local authority. Na uonyeshe evidence utapanda mti ingine na watakuwa wanakagua, because they want to protect the environment. The same thing we want. The main focus here, si mchanga kuchukua changarawe. Changarawe kitachukuliwa, lakini we want environmental conservation. Okay? We want jobs for our people as that is happening. We want wealthy creation also for our people as that is happening. Si chukuliwe na tuachwe tungedheti. Okay? And with those few remarks, I thought I should make those remarks. I gave an undertaking that once the committees which I appointed, once the teams which I appointed to oversee the implementation of the recommendations which were made by various committees, I'll share that with the stakeholders who are here, and I can tell you what we are talking about here is being streamed. What I'm saying here, people who are singing in Kafoka, people who are in Nairobi, people who are in the UK, who are of interest, inakuwa streams. Hii ni wakati ya digitali. Mnasikia? Kwa hivyo inajulikana. Kwa hivyo vile tutawaita tena at an appropriate time to share. Hii ndio ilikuwa report, these are other recommendations, these ones have been implemented. In fact, that is required of us leaders under the new Constitution Kenya 2010, ambayo tulipitisha. Ndio inataka pia public participation, and this team, the reason why I'm commending them even upfront, is because they conducted public participation. And I was so keen to hear how the public participation went in the 8 sub-counties. How many people attended? What was contributed? To what extent has what the people proposed or recommended been mainstreamed in your report, in your policy, in your bill? Of course, you don't include everything. That does not happen anywhere. Unachunga. In other words, you have to look at what is feasible or not. Because wananchi watatoa maoni, lazima yawekwe maanani, but they must be really evaluated, and you see how to make sure they are given meaning. So we'll also hear that, but the public participation, I was very, very happy with it. Most of our MCAs, maybe that's part of the reason why they have other things today, because we had some in Turkey, literally others wako kule Mwingi on CIDP. You know, CIDP wanataka kupitisha before the end of this financial year. This financial year 2022-2023 inaisha leo, 30th of June. Kwa hivyo there are a lot of things happening, including even a performance contract must be concluded in terms of negotiation with the national government team, which is helping us in negotiating. National government team, because we want the same to be objective as well. They are the ones which also do for national government MDAs, those are ministries, departments, and agencies. Because we want to maintain high standards in this county. And that's how we are going to change this place. Na kwa hayo nimesema, nitakoma hapo ili tupate hiyo report, and then